it's Chris. We are on location at Great Glen Outfitters in Pinkham Notch, New Hampshire, here with Nordic Nate, who is going to help us get on Nordic skis. Nordic skiing is fun for a lot of different reasons. You get to experience nature, find incredible views. It's social. You can do it with friends, and it's also really exhilarating just to glide on snow. But whether you've never done it before and want to get into it, or if you want to step up your game, part of the problem is having the right gear. So we're turning to Nate. What's one of the biggest questions when someone comes in and says, I'm looking for cross-country skis, I want to give it a try? What are some of the questions you ask?
Is your selection as big as Amazon? No.
It's pretty big.
It is pretty big. I think we have the biggest selection in New Hampshire. And we're going to shop the whole store today, Chris. But the first thing I'll ask you is where you want to go skiing. Like, do you live in Manchester, New Hampshire? Or are you down near Boston? Do you come to a Nordic resort every weekend? So answer me that. Where do you want to go skiing?
Well, for this exercise, let's say I'm a beginner. I have taken a lesson here at Great Glen Trails. I've explored your network a little bit. I've really fallen in love with cross-country skiing. I want to come here every week.
What I would say, Chris, is since you probably rented and used this ski right here when you were out there on our trails, this is just a pretty basic touring ski. Comes in 4 sizes, not much maintenance to it. Some mechanical grip on here. You just grab and go.
What do you mean by that, mechanical grip?
Well, there's a few ways to get your ski to climb a hill, basically. Sometimes the pattern is cut into it like this. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll have a skin on there, some sort of attached grip material. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Or you'll actually put a grip wax on your ski. You'll actually wax it or tar it to go up the hill. But this is the most basic and easiest to use. So it sounds like your commitment is you're going to go skiing 2 or 3 times a week at the most.
Yeah, and I like this idea because I don't have to probably prep it as much each time I go out.
So we can easily size you on that. There's a weight range that the ski would intend the skier to be. But maybe, Chris, because you've done a little bit of cycling, and I think that you're going to really take to this, I can tell you're excited about it. I can get you into one of these super light crowns. This is one of our best-selling skis here in the shop. You can tell by the depth of the selection here. We do that depth so that we can look at these numbers here and actually pick out your personal ski. Like this ski was matched in the warehouse when it was built and printed. They put the serial numbers on there based on how the cores match up, and we can actually find a really nice gripping and gliding ski with the selection that we have here.
So what are the variables? Is it my weight? Is it my height? Is it?
It's all those things. You just let us do the work and just keep answering the questions. We'll get you to the ski that's going to be perfect.
And technology-wise, what's the difference between kind of a beginning touring ski like this and a greater technology?
Well, they all have their place, and as you add more materials and more time that it takes to build the ski, like the core of the ski is a little more complex than this one, where this is just an air channel filled core. It's pretty basic, keeps it around $200 or so. This one's going to be more like $300 because of the work that goes into the sidewalls, and the base material is much nicer. It actually appreciates a glide wax every once in a while, and really you'll see the results if you do take care of it.
Okay, well, what's the difference between something like this? These excel on groomed trails that our touring networks around the White Mountains. Let's say I want to get a little adventurous and go into non-groomed backcountry, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the first thing you're going to see is probably the width of the ski. It's going to be almost twice as wide as this in most cases. This is made to fit in the groove tracks that the groomer will make for you here at the center. And when you get into one of these wider skis, just go ahead and hang on to that one right there. This one feels pretty light for having a partial metal edge. So that metal edge adds just some stability and some comfort when you're on maybe a little bit slipperier trail. It's not prepared every day like the trails here.
Yep.
It'll still be mostly a waxless pattern on there, mechanical grip. And what's going to make a huge difference is the boot and binding that we put on there. So that the sole's a little bit stiffer. You can drive the ski through the powder or through the crud.
We were just talking about the different skis for what we call, I guess, classic or touring skiing, where you're kind of going in a straight line. Mm-hmm. But there is a different type of skiing, skate skiing. What makes a skate ski a skate ski?
A few things. It's almost the same materials that you'll see in those other skis, striding skis. This one, though, is generally torsionally stiffer, so from tip to tail, because of the motion that you're going to use, Chris, to get where you're going, which is from one edge to the other. The ski You don't want it to wash out. You want it to hold your edge, be firm, be strong. So the materials that they use make it super strong this way. Also, it has more camber this way. So when you compress the two skis like this, it's going to be harder to close the ski out. Basically, you need that extra rebound to throw you into your next stride. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And you'll never see things like fish scale pattern or anything on the bottom of this because it's all about the glide.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a lot like your alpine ski or your snowboard. You just wax it tip to tail for sure.
What's the difference between some of the skis up here that are over just a couple $100 and a ski that is $800 or more?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like shopping for your bicycle that we mentioned earlier. It's if you throw some money into the shock or the components of the bike, or the frame is carbon, you're going to pay more. So that's basically what you're getting is you're paying for how the ski was constructed and the materials used.
What ski is the most popular here in this shop?
It's a good question. We often do sell this ski because of the value here, the RS8. This is the one that we actually rent downstairs. Like if you came to do a lesson or just needed some skis for the weekend, this is the ski we rent. I think it's pretty good value. This one goes for, right in the middle, $350 or something with the binding. Some skis do not sell with binding, so you've got options there. This is one of those. This is probably our best-selling ski in the skate world. It's the Fisher RCS, and it always has been, probably always will be. It's just a super solid ski, and we have easy access to Fisher skis as they're in the same state here in New Hampshire. And the poles, Chris, the poles always get the back seat, and people don't think about it as much, or like building some money into your budget for the pole. Maybe you've got skis right now and boots that are okay. What should I get this year? Try a new pair of poles. It makes a huge difference. They're a strong shaft, a nice, easy, comfortable strap. I'm really pushing the pole.
Of course, when you go cross-country skiing, you're going to want more than just your skis, boots, poles, and bindings. You're going to want the right apparel, and I'm here with Megan Moody-Schwartz. What should I look for in apparel when choosing something for cross-country skiing?
Absolutely. So being in the outdoors, you want to be prepared. You want to think about your layers. You want to think about breathable items that if you sweat in and then they cool off, then you heat up and you cool back down, they're not going to make you cold. So a big seller this year, a lot of people asked for a quarter zip in this awesome mid layer. So maybe you'd have a base layer underneath this. As you're heating up, as you're moving along the trails, you might unzip this. And then at the end of the day, or if the wind's coming out, you might zip this back up. And the best thing is that it's great for après as well.
It looks good. You don't even have to change. You can go right into the the après ski tavern.
I also like to make sure that you're wearing the right headgear. Everybody runs hot or cold. You know what's best for you, but it's great to make sure that you have a hat that vents on the top as well as it protects your ears. So we have a full Skeeta line in here. I'm really into their new Chaga print. As you can see, I'm wearing right now. We have the full stock in.
I am big fans of hats. A big fan of hats.
I see why. And then we also, you're thinking about your pants, right? So again, breathability. This pant, it's the Cirque 2. We have the men's and the women's, 2 different colors. And the great thing about this pant is that it vents, it's breathable, it protects you from the wind. It's great for when you're snowshoeing or exploring in your backyard, maybe on a windier day. And it also clips into your boots at the bottom, so you avoid that snow and sock.
Snow in the boot can ruin a day, yes.
Don't want to do that. So this is a great seller. Of course, we have our full line of the Swix favorites, Bjorn Dolly. So really choose your color, your style, and make sure that you layer as you're on the trails.
You can help people, find that perfect fit. There is no one size fits all when it comes to cross-country skiing.
I would say 5-6 core staff that have been here. All of us have been here more than 20 years. So the knowledge is here. We all ski. We've all tested it all. And we've got skier abilities and body shapes and everything of all sizes. So, we're all not like high-tech racers or anything. We just like to go ski.
And in the winter, you have a trail system here. So do you offer demos? Can you take skis out?
I'm glad you mentioned that. And we didn't even ask you to say that, Chris. This is amazing. So this year, we actually will have the Fisher 68, the 78, and the 98 all mounted up in all sizes with this particular boot right here so that you can go demo all of those metal edge skis, it's a big investment, but pretty awesome that you can go try it and then come up here and say, yeah, give me that size.
All right, check them out. Great Glen Outfitters, Pinkham Notch, New Hampshire. Online at
greatglentrails.com.
But pick up the phone, call 603-466-2333, because more than likely you'll get this guy on the phone, and
it's likely, yes.
and he can get you started. But nothing like a visit in store to get what you need.
No pressure, just come find the right stuff.
All right.